Right, local board views. I'll move. Glasses off. That recommendation. I'll move that. Seconder, Councillor Denise. Right, we have got Karen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a very short introduction. So the report ahead of you is really a summary of the local board's input into the LTP, both on the major consultation topics and local projects. It very much mirrors the discussions that were held between the governing body and the local boards just a couple of weeks ago. And under separate cover you have more detail on local board views. So the agenda report is a summary. And then yesterday at your workshop we tabled just a brief memo which actually had a list of tangible projects that are costed that aren't in the current LTP for you to have a look at. And we also raised just one particular issue that has been raised with us by the local boards, which was around the new capital fund that is proposed in the LTP, very supportive of that. But just to note that there are some concerns that part of the source of funding for that new fund will come from an existing fund, the Community Facilities Partnership, that has worked very well for the boards over the last 4 years. So that's really all we need to say. I think the material has been well traversed during the discussions, and yes, happy to take any questions.
Councillor Chris, Councillor Camp.
Well, thank you. And through you, Mr. Chairman, I just want to touch on, and I know my colleague Councillor Casey and I are both interested in the Manukau walkway, the coastal walkway proposal. I'd really like your view. In the consideration that we've given it, we deem it to be more of a regional project. I wonder if you could give feedback on that and for the most appropriate place for us to be dealing with that formally.
Thank you. So the project that Councillor Fletcher is referring to is the one that was put forward by the Puketapapa local board, which is around Manukau Harbour coastal tracks. It is a local board advocacy project, but it would be a regional decision to make that. It does cross board boundaries, and then it's always the question of is it multi-board or is it regional, but at this point it's been put forward by the Puketapapa local board in terms of their advocacy. It's in the material, and what they have noted is that there were funds for that project in the previous LTP. They have spent, there has been money spent on it to date, and they are advocating for funding for that project.
Mr. Chairman, I seek your guidance.
Yeah, we'll
this
deal
is
with it
one
later.
that under the greenways, the regional. Thank you.
Yeah. So what we're doing is really receiving these. There are matters that we will refer to later on in the agenda around decision making, but this is a receipt of their report, and we'll action it a little bit later in the agenda.
Thank you.
Councillor Kim.
Oh, thank you. I was just wanting to hear as to whether we had local boards comment on the proposed transport targeted rate or levy, as to whether you're able to get a sense of that. I'm looking through the feedback again here, and there is some references to fuel taxes versus tolls, but I just wondered, one, whether you had been able to get a sense of any collective or strong individual board views on the targeted transport rate, and or whether there'd been any frustration voiced from local boards since that has raised to the surface, the transport targeted rate, as to their inability to meaningfully consult with their constituents and feed that feedback back to the governing body, given it was buried in the LTP documents.
So clearly this came more to the fore in the discussions between the governing body members and the local board chairs, and if you recall there was quite a lengthy discussion, and that's where the local boards did make their initial views known. Clearly they were just the views of the chairs, so there hadn't been the opportunity to discuss that in detail with the boards or community. I haven't had any particular frustration expressed to me at this point.
But just in saying that, there is no reference here, is there? I can't see it in any of the categories that they're feeding back in summary, any reference to transport targeted rate. So the formal feedback that we are resolving to receive today excludes any meaningful engagement with local boards on transport targeted rate.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Councillor Chris.
Mr Chairman, I was just going to highlight, and I know certainly with my dialogue with the two local boards in my ward, in the 10-year budget, it says under either funding option, and this refers to fuel taxes or motorway user charges, a targeted rate may also be required for 2015-2016, and that was well traversed in the local board considerations that I had the opportunity to be part of.
It's very helpful, Councillor Chris, for those who are looking for reasons not to participate in that discussion today. That is a very helpful comment. Right, I think that there's no further... Oh, Councillor Cathy.
The local board, the Albert Eden local board met last night, and they were quite critical of the limit to the use of the LDI. Was that common across boards? We've heard from a number of boards. And was it universal? What they're saying is that they'll be short in capex of about 700,000 to $1 million if LDI is limited.
So, I mean, the LDI allocation has been there since the local board funding policy was put in place. My take on it, that's widely accepted as the discretionary fund. The Mayor's proposal of the new capital fund will help with the smaller scale projects, but of course overall you saw from the list of projects we tabled yesterday and what's in the detail, I mean all the boards do want to do more for their communities, and that's what the decision making and the trade-offs is all about over the next couple of days.
Yep, it's not a bottomless pit. Any other questions? Oh, okay. I'll move that recommendation. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Against? Thank you, team.